we learn how to create a material, change, display, and mark the material for deletion. So we learn a basic things about what we can do as a user for the material. Now we focus on vendor. Vendor are supplier. Vendor are organization or entities where we buy a product or we actually source the material from or we buy the material from. So if we want to buy steel to build a car, we want to know what vendors or suppliers are available in the market, and we need to create database of those vendors so that we can compete. We can request quotation from everyone. Okay, I want to buy this steel of a certain grade, and the vendor can quote you. Okay, I'm gonna give you per ton this price, and we can choose a better price and buy a product. So today we are going to learn how to create a vendor. The transaction code to create a vendor is XK01. Again, the same rule. If we do XK02, this means if you want to change vendor details, vendor details. And the tables, in vendor, we have got LFA1 table, again, organizational hierarchy. The top level is LFA1, which is a client level information of vendor. For example, vendor address, phone number, email addresses, kind of like that. LFM1 is a plant level or purchasing org level information. So for material is created for plants. So there's a link between material and plant. Material is always created for plant, and vendor is always created for a purchasing org. Purchasing org could be a person or could be a number of people or a department who are responsible to buy, who are professional and trained and responsible to buy any requirement, any material, anything for a company. So they are professional. They keep the vendor records. They know which vendor to go to, how to negotiate terms and conditions, and how to negotiate with the vendors, which is in the interest of. That's what we call purchasing org. It could be a person. If it's a small company, one person could be called, okay, my purchasing org is Dave. You can give him number like 1000 or 1300 Dave. So that could be purchasing org, or a department. It could be a purchasing org. So always the link is with material, always created for plant, and vendor is always created to purchasing org. When a vendor is created on a client level, it can be extended. Like material, we extend it to multiple plants. Vendor can be extended to multiple purchasing org as well. So what we're going to do today, we are going to create a vendor. A01. Okay. Now you can see the hierarchy is different than the material. In material, we have got client level, and then we got plant level and storage location level. Now we have got vendor, which is client level. So that's vendor. If you don't want to put any details in a company code and purchasing or account group, this is populated because I just created another vendor. That's why it's already populated. So company code I'm using, for example, I want to create a vendor for company one. Under the company, there's a purchasing org 1000 as well. Remember, in SAP, the standard is most of the time, if you have a plan 1000, most likely the purchasing org also called 1000. So this is not a plan, it's a purchasing org. But the standard is just to simplify it, they both have a same number. But the entities are, one is purchasing org, another one is plant. Plant where you keep the material, where you manufacture parts and things like that. But purchasing org could be one department in a plant or who buy the product for a company. Now, what is the account group? Account group is what kind of vendor is it? For example, if there is a vendor like a standard vendor, we buy a material multiple times, we can give him, okay, he's 001 and vendor. You can have any name. You can have 002 for vendor, 003 for vendor. So this is also configurable, and we're gonna talk about configuration later on, not in this video, in future videos. For example, there is a vendor and you want to buy just one-off product, and you don't want to create as a vendor that stays in a database. So you just create one-time vendor and you give him like 0099. So only one time you buy a product, and after that you won't be able to buy it. For example, this vendor has remit to. Remit to is okay. Whenever I create a purchase order, I create a purchase order for a company which head office in New York, but I'm delivering the product in California. Now I don't want to pay. I mean, vendors say, okay, if you are in kind of fees in California, I have got another office, so you can pay there as well. Now we create like another vendor with the office name or person name, and we can say remit to vendor. So that's how the vendor can be different categories. Can be a good supplier, and they're forwarding agent. So they are different kind of vendors. So let me choose the standard vendor, which is 001. So we have go purchasing, or we have go company code. I hit enter. I have not put anything in a vendor because of what I'm expecting is system is going to give me a vendor number here. You can put your name or any number as well, which is called external number range, but we're not going to talk about it at the moment on this. So we're just going happy path, simplest way to create a vendor. I'm going to hit enter. Now this is, I have vendor some information. This is a client level information that everybody will be able to see. Whoever has got access. I've got company name, vendor. I can say steel vendor 101. Search term. Whenever you want to search in a table, there is a search term. You can say, okay, so I'm creating a material, so I just put my name Spider-Man. Vendor address. Let's say vendor. So 101 and somewhere in India, that vendor resides or his office is. So India. Yeah, I'm just trying to provide minimum information. There are a lot of information, telephone, fax, email, but if it's not mandatory, I want to keep it simple. I want to hit enter. It's going to stop me there. Okay, so it didn't enter. So, okay, this is second screen. I'm going to hit enter again. So nothing mandatory. I'm going to hit enter. So these are the bank details. Of course, we are creating vendor from the material management perspective. We don't fill out these details. Users who are actually working on a system are actually provide these details. Maybe bank account, maybe a GL people or AP people, account payable people, cash management people might need to provide this information. Now come to the next screen. It is again partner details I can provide. It's regarding partner function. We are not discussing partner function. Let's see if it's mandatory. I'm going to hit enter. It let me go, so that's fine. Now reconciliation account. It is regarding GL. It's about when you pay in advance or something. So which account is going to come out from, and then when transaction has been made, it replaces the account. But we don't need to know. We don't fill this out. Let me try to hit enter. Okay, see, it's stopped there. That okay, I need to select something. So I'm going to select any reconciliation account. For example, the first one, down payment. Okay, and then hit enter. Now, when you see this checkbox, most likely it's mean that's mandatory. So let me just select cash management group. Cash management group, left different kind of like vendor. Okay, is a domestic vendor, or I need to pay in a different currency or something. Let me see if it's India. Let me see if it's foreign. Okay, I fill this detail. Again, you don't need to worry about it. We don't need to provide this information. It's not related to MM. I think it's GL or AP or cash management. That module need to actually provide those details. I put into payment terms. Payment terms is again related to cash or GL. What payment term usually means is what are the terms I have agreed with vendor. For example, if I pay you within 15 days, are you gonna give me a discount of 2%? Or if I pay you in 30 days, are you gonna give me a discount? So some sort of things. Okay. So for example, pay immediately, due net. So as soon as I deliver the product, I want money as soon as possible. This one within 14 days, 2% cash discount. So if I pay 14 days and under, I get 2% cash discount. Let me choose this. Okay. And I hit enter. Now you can see that now we have got company code 1000. So there's a company code level information that we are providing. Mostly account details, GL accounts are company code level. Now we come to order currency, okay, which currency we need to pay. Let me just put international US dollar. Okay, let me just choose if I can choose from here whether I have got US dollar here. US dollar. Okay, right. I'm gonna hit enter. Okay. Now this is the partner function details. It's mean that if you have got main vendor and you want to pay to some other vendor and it's been authorized with this vendor, you can add this on as a remit to vendor. Remit to means where the money is going to go, but we're going to talk about partner function in future videos. And it says, okay, share over here before I hit enter. Now it's not a company code, it's actually purchasing org. So that was a purchasing org related data that is further down, one step down the company code. Okay, I hit enter and I have got change to general data must be confirmed. Okay, let's see, create. Okay, I've got a vendor created. This is a vendor. I double click and I have got this vendor now. I copied it and I can put in my sheet here that example. So this is the vendor I have created. Now, if I want to see this vendor, okay, I think the video is too long. We're gonna view and change the video vendor in the next video. Thank you so much.